Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and checking us out. As we go into the Ascend kickoff, I'm looking at the website right now, and there are a lot of really good tools on here. We've got some terrific sponsors, and a lot of these we actually use on our program with what we do. So, but what I'm noticing here is we've got a lot of really good tools, a lot of good products, a lot of good opportunities to use some of this stuff. But the one thing that stands out is the Federal Bridge program. The thing that makes this whole program different is it gives you an opportunity to develop and build a career. So when you're using all of these tools that are also on here and these products, these are great things for you to use within your career, right? But if you don't have a career or you don't have a niche that's working for you and you're looking for more consistent income, or maybe you just aren't working a niche that you feel you can buy into, the is maybe it just feels like it's work rather than just something that you're doing to help yourself and help other people. So I'd encourage you to really check out what it is the Federal Bridge program brings to the table, because over the years I've found this to be a fantastic niche. It makes and enables the agents that work this niche to have a very productive career. And most of the agents that do this, that follow it to the T, not trying to do their own thing, not trying to reinvent their wheel, but if you follow the program, this is a fantastic career that you're going to be able to make $100,000, more than likely more than that, but at least $100,000 you're doing this, and you're going to feel comfortable in the way that it works. It's going to allow you to probably have more time off than you think when you have a successful career. Now, you might have too much time on your hands right now, but maybe that's because you haven't found a niche that works for you. So let's spend some time. Let's jump into this, and I'll show you exactly how this niche can work for you and how you can make $100,000 or more. So how does this whole thing work? How can you make money doing all this, right? So the first thing is that you need to tap into and access the online training system to make yourself become a federal benefits expert. So what we have is a series of pre-recorded modules that will take you from point A to point Z on how to become an expert with federal benefits. Now, unlike other training programs where they're just telling you how to talk about the TSP and how you should roll that money over and put it into an annuity, that's a sales pitch, guys. And they're onto it. All right. So if you've thought that you've worked the federal market before, maybe you've never had exposure to it. But if you've had some exposure to it before, and all you were doing was hunting for rollovers, then you haven't gone through the complete process. So you need to go through all these modules. They're pre-recorded. They're going to take you step by step on what all of the federal benefits are. And when you tap into this, when you sign up for it, you're going to get access to 3 modules at a time. Just need you to not try to power watch or binge watch through those, but I need you to make sure that you're absorbing that. So set aside some time to watch those. The goal is not to power through them, okay, and say, hey, I have accomplished it. I've watched all the videos. All right. We need you to absorb the information, because at the end, after you've watched all the training videos, you're going to have to take a test. And the reason we want you to take a test is because, we're going to have you go out there and actually talk to federal employees, and you need to know what you're talking about, because the federal employees that are looking for help have been to multiple seminars already. They've talked to multiple people, and they'll smell out a sales pitch right away, and you won't be able to accomplish anything. But if you come across as an expert and you point out things that nobody else has pointed out to them before, you answer questions, you're going to have a great appointment, and you're going to be able to help them and in turn help yourself. So now, how can you do all that? Well, I mean, you need to get in front of people, right? So, accessing the options that you have through the preset appointments that you can get through IAMS, this is going to allow you to get in front of more people, and these are going to be people that are asking for help. And then the last point here is that you need to use our proven sales system. Okay. You can't get in there and try to wing it. You can't get in there and try to do it like you may have tried before. And this is not going to be your typical financial planning / insurance, appointment. These things need to be handled very carefully. You need to show your expertise. You need to ask the right questions. You need to say things in a certain way. People that are federal employees are big on acronyms. You need to know what all the acronyms are. You need to prove that you know what all of their benefits are, because they're going to test you. All right. Not only am I going to test you, but when you're out in the field, the people are going to test you. So you need to become an expert. Well, when you're doing your consultations, you're going to be doing those consultations with some proprietary tools. Okay. First thing you're going to have is a workbook. Now, there are lots of these workbooks. They all look pretty similar, but this one was designed by me, put together by me, and it works for the way that we do our consultations step by step. All right. It's designed to point out what their benefits are, but then also let them know that they have some problem areas. And the thing that's nice is that we've got another proprietary tool that goes along with it. We call it the Workbook Companion. This is an automation tool. It's a tool that will allow you to fill in information while you're going through and talking to people. Again, these are all virtual appointments, guys. So as you're talking to these people and you're going through the workbook with them, you can do it on your other screen. You can be filling out the information in this tool that will automatically fill out parts of the workbook for you. And at the end, give you a summary of how the whole appointment went and what their numbers are, what their FEGLI is going to be, what their disability is going to be, what their pension is going to be, what they can expect to get as far as a retirement and income number from TSP, what they're going to get from Social Security, how it all fits together, and then what are their problem areas that you've already discussed with them. So we've got some great proprietary tools, and it's all done just by having a conversation with them. It's never a sales pitch. We start off explaining to them what their benefit or what their retirement benefits are. And a lot of times you're going to position that, hey, isn't that a great tool or a benefit that you have? But then you want to show them, well, as great as that is, we've got a little bit of a problem over here. So it's not just going through the benefits, but how you word things, how you phrase things, where you position yourself within that. Okay. So using these tools to help you do that is really going to be of a big benefit. The automation tool, the workbook companion that goes along with this is something that I've had developed specifically because as I was going through and doing appointments, what I quickly found out is people understand inflation, but they'll just give you a lip service about it, right? Oh yeah, I've taken into account inflation. No, they haven't. They've thought about it, but they haven't looked at the numbers. So what I used to do is I used to pull up my calculator and I would show them future value. What are the future your monthly expenses? What's the future value of those? What are those monthly expenses going to look like in 10, 15, 20 years? What can you expect your TSP to grow to? Okay. What's that going to look like in 10 years, 5 years, 20 years? What kind of income are you going to get from that? And then you show them comparing their monthly expenses to their income and you show it to them. Okay. You don't just talk about it, but you need to be able to show it to them. So that's what the automation tool does for you, the workbook companion. When I started bringing in those numbers and showing people what the numbers were, you can see either A, the light bulb go on over their head, or B, just watch the blood drain out of their head because they're going through one of those moments, right? So it really made my closing numbers really go up. Guys, if you follow this process, your closing ratio, and we do track closing ratio, your closing ratio should be, if you're just average, 60%. Now, when I started implementing, showing people what their actual numbers were, my closing ratio went up to 90%. Yours can too. Okay. All right. So getting appointments, it's all great to have these great tools, but if you're not in front of people and you don't have activity, then all of this is for naught, right? It doesn't do you any good. So, I mean, how much are you spending on activity right now? I mean, my story is, I've gone through every seminar program, and those are great programs. They just didn't click for me. Okay. I'm not telling you that, hey, all these other, seminar programs or whatever programs are bad. They didn't work for me. Okay. Because I didn't buy into them. I didn't see the real value, but for the federal niche, There's true value. These people really are looking for, the help that we can offer them. So the idea here is that you need to have appointments put on your calendar. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about, appointments to do a seminar or, call what I used to have is phone time, right? Where I would sit down and I'd call a bunch of leads that maybe 10 other people had talked to these people already. So this is not busy work activity. These are actual appointments. And there's a variety of appointment options that you can use through IAMS, right? So you need to talk to your marketing director to find out which of these preset appointment options is going to be right for you, how you can possibly use marketing dollars to, replenish the pool. Now, the thing is that these appointments don't just keep coming. All right. You need to be proficient at what it is that you're doing, and your closing ratios need to be at an acceptable level for you to continue to stay in the program and for you to continue to get the breaks on the preset appointments. So it's not an endless opportunity. You need to be good at what you do. But and this is very easy to learn, guys, if you devote the right time to it. So devote some time to it. Learn the process, learn the tools, make this something that is going to be a viable option for you, and then you'll get the appointments. All right. So again, none of it's any good without activity, but we've got a great solution for you here on how to get that activity level up. Okay. Next thing is when you're in front of those people, you need to use our proven sales process. Don't try to wing it. All right. Don't say, well, I've been doing this for 20 years. Guys, when I started doing this, I'd already been in the business of financial planning for 25 years. You don't think I already had some of my own sales processes? Okay. The first few appointments I did myself in the federal arena flopped. Okay. Because I thought I already knew better. Well, I've always done it this way. Well, guess what? You need to follow the process exactly as it is. I call it following the recipe. Okay. So if the recipe calls for a cup of sugar, even though salt looks the same, don't put a cup of salt in. It needs to be sugar. Okay. So follow the process exactly. Do a consultation. If you do your consultation exactly as we tell you to do it, you're going to be helping people. You're going to be giving them the information that they've always wanted, but then you're immediately after, you're going to be pointing out, well, here's a problem that you have. Do you agree that this is a problem? Okay. And I actually ask that. Do you agree that this is a problem? They say yes. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean we close on them right then and there. We let these problems build up. Oh, so you go to see your doctor. Oh, guess what? You've got high blood pressure. Oh, you've got high cholesterol. Oh, you've got high stress. So the more the problems add on, the more anxiety they have, the more eager they are to get a resolution to those problems, right? That's what this process does. There's a specific order to it. There's a specific way it must be done. Don't try to change the process. Okay. If you follow these things, you're going to do great. It's going to be a fantastic career. You're going to help people and you're going to help yourself. Okay, guys. So how does this whole Federal Bridge training program really work? Let's boil it down. Let's make sure that we're all on the same page. All right. So the first thing is you're going to have online access, you're going to have access to an online portal. The portal is going to give you 10 recorded modules that you can go through. Each one of these modules runs anywhere from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. You're not going to get access to all of them all at once. We're going to give them to you in bite-sized pieces. Here's why. Whenever I've rolled these programs out before, what I've found is there's this particular group of people that think the whole idea is to just get through the modules. Let's, hey, I've completed the training. But then when they go to take the test, they fail. So set aside time. You're going to get these in batches of 3. Okay. Watch them, let the information go through, review it in your head. I'm a big fan of visualization. Visualize, what this information means and how you're going to be able to use it. Once you're done with that, you're going to be able to, or you're going to have to take a test. Okay. Now, the good news is that as you're going through the training, you're going to get the opportunity to ask questions. You're going to have questions that pop up. You're going to need clarification on what does this really mean? Okay. Well, guess what? You get to ask those questions to me. All right. So if there's something that as you're going through the training, you've got a question on, you're going to be able to ask me those questions. Send me an email. I will respond. I'll make sure that you understand exactly what I'm talking about, how it applies, so that we're all on the same page, so that as you're going through the training, you're very clear on what it is you need to do. Okay. After you've gone through the videos, you've had all of your questions answered, then you get the opportunity to go through a 1-week training course. Okay. What do you get with the 1-week training course? Okay. This is all part of the program. Okay. With the 1-week training course, you get to learn the presentation. There is a script. Okay. You need to internalize the script. It's not a sales script, but you need to know how to talk to people, what to say, when to say it, how to say it, certain voice inflections. Okay. You are only going to be proficient at doing that if you go through it with somebody. And you're going to have other people in the class going through that with you. And you're going to have me going through it with you. You will get a chance to role play. Yes, that's right. You actually will sit down and do the presentation. Time and time again, I will be reviewing those presentations. I will be giving you feedback. Hey, you did this way, you should be doing it this way. Actual live feedback. We're going to do this for a week. I've done it before where we didn't have this classroom and the results were not good. So if you're going through this process, you're learning the benefits, you're learning everything else, you need to learn how to do the presentation, because if you don't do the presentation correctly, you will not get the results that you're looking for. Okay. It's kind of like signing up with a personal trainer. Oh, I've been working out for years. Great. But as I'm sitting here watching you do your exercises, you're not doing them right. That's why you're not getting the results, or that's why you've had too much pain on this. So I understand that we've all been in the career for quite some time. You're new to this. Okay. Get the feedback. Remember, professional athletes have trainers too. Okay. It's not meant to offend you, but you need to get personal one-on-one training so that you can get this presentation down, because the typical person that goes through this will have a closing ratio of 60%. This is significantly higher already than most other training programs. And that's only if you're average at best. But the only way you can get there is to learn the presentation step by step, not taking shortcuts and learning how to say it. Okay. Now, once you've gone through that, you're gonna go out live in the field. You're gonna be seeing appointments. You're gonna be closing people. You're gonna be talking to people. Maybe you're getting the results you expected, maybe not. Well, guess what? You're not left alone out there to hang out. We've been having these meetings for years now. Every Friday morning, we have a group meeting. You get to join those meetings because you're going to have questions that you run into that you can only get when you're out seeing people. And you're going to want to have answers to those. Now, as you're going through the training, you can ask any question you want. I'll be able to answer those. But once you've gone through the training, once you've gone through the classroom, I'm not going to be able to answer, emails from 50 different people. That's the whole point of having the weekly roundtable meetings. So you get a chance to join in live conversations, run through real life examples. You get to ask questions from me. You get to ask questions to my team. Many of them have been doing this for years. Okay. They're experts. They're seeing 10 people a week. Okay. So there's feedback that you're going to want to get. That's how you get it. Okay. So going through the process, learning everything online, getting answers to your questions, you get tested on that. Then you get to get appointments. You can talk to your sales director about how to get those different appointments on your calendar. The expectation is that you're going to have 6 new appointments every week. And then you're going to have, into week 2, you're going to have second appointments. So in reality, you're going to have 10 to 12 appointments a week, just federal employees. And then you're going to learn how to do those presentations so that that money's not wasted. Okay. Because those appointments are not free. All right. So if you're going to be paying for those appointments, you need to know how to make the most of them. You're going to learn that presentation. You're going to learn the right way to say it. And we're going to make sure that you get ongoing training and you get feedback. Now, the last part of this is that as you're going through, we're going to be monitoring, we meaning me, going to be monitoring your progress. How many appointments are you doing? What is your closing ratio? If your closing ratio is not up to par, okay, remember, because your ability to get more appointments is going to be based upon your closing ratio. So if your closing ratio is not up to par, well, it needs to get fixed. So that's where reporting comes into play. I'm going to see how many appointments you've had each week. I'm going to take a look at the results. How did you do on those appointments? And if your closing ratio is not where it needs to be, which is 60% or better, then you and I are going to be getting some one-on-one time. And it's not going to be going through the presentation as a whole. It's not going to be this, B rating thing. It's just going to be, hey, let me see this part of the presentation. Let me see this part. And chances are, and this happens a lot, okay, chances are you've put in a shortcut, or maybe you fell back upon something that you used to always do before, but it's not the right way to do it with a federal employee. We're going to fix those so that now you can go ahead and have a great presentation and move forward and make a great career out of this. And every week, it's just going to get better and better and better.